Forget everything you think you know about negotiation. We have all seen those movies where you've got two people sitting across a table from each other going head to head trying to beat each other down. And while that might be great for drama, it is not anything what it looks like when you're negotiating how to buy a business. Today, we're going to transform that scenario into a really collaborative journey towards a win-win solution. When you buy a business from someone, that person is your biggest ally in creating a successful transition. They are the biggest reason why your clients are going to stay or not stay. They are the person that's going to help you get to know their team and help their team build trust in you. If that person feels like your adversary, you are approaching this all wrong. I'm Amy Walker, and welcome back to Amy Exits, where we talk about all things buying and selling businesses. In today's video, we are going to go through the secrets of moving sellers from being really stuck in price and stuck in what they want out of this and into understanding what are the mutual interests. We're going to explore how to uncover the real motivations behind a seller's stance and how to align your goals with theirs for a deal that benefits everyone involved. When was the last time you had to negotiate? Maybe it was with your toddler trying to get them to go to bed. Maybe it was with a spouse. Maybe it was in business. But I want you to think through that experience and share in the comment, how did you feel during that negotiation? Did it feel like a battle? Or did it feel like a partnership? Last week, I was negotiating a deal where what the owner wanted and what I was willing to pay were just not in alignment. And I felt like for this one brief minute, maybe this isn't gonna happen because she wants more than her business is actually worth. And so when I actually asked the question and I said, can you tell me what's behind that desire? That's when the doors started to open up and I got really clear on what she actually wanted. She also shared with me what was her BATNA, which is the best alternative to not reaching an agreement. And from that point, it opened up the opportunity for me to say, okay, let me go back to the drawing board. Let me look at how I can possibly get you what you want without me overpaying for what the business is actually worth. And the conversation just continued to flow and it's been incredibly positive. So when I share this with you, I'm still learning to be a better negotiator. We're all always learning to be better negotiators. But I want you to understand that when you come through these sticking points, they should come out the other end really positive if you're doing it right. So stick with me until the end because you are going to get the negotiation framework that not only enhances your chances of closing the deal, but it also leaves you both feeling good instead of feeling ick. So if you are ready to change the way you negotiate forever in all scenarios, because again, I think that you could take this to toddlers and spouses, then let's jump into it. First, let's differentiate between positions and interests. A position is what someone says they want, while their interest is why they want it. In business negotiations that focus solely on positions, it's really easy to get to a stalemate. And our goal is to dig deeper and to uncover the underlying interests that drive those positions. So how do we get there? The first thing that we do is we ask a lot of open-ended questions. We begin by asking questions that encourage the seller to open up about their motivations. Instead of, will you lower the price, try, what are your goals with this sale? This approach helps them to reveal what's actually important to them. That was exactly what happened in my conversation. She said, I want this amount of money and I want it guaranteed. And I said, okay, so can you tell me what's behind that motivation? Why does that number feel so important to you? And then she started to tell me the things that she actually wanted, and it helped to give me ideas of how I could give her what she wanted without sacrificing the risk that I was not willing to take. The second thing we're going to do is listen actively. Listening is your greatest tool. I want you to pay attention to what the seller's concerns and priorities are. Sometimes what's not said is as telling as what is. And this insight into their interests can really guide the whole negotiation strategy. I call this listening between the lines. It's like they say one thing and you get a vibe that there's something just a little bit different. And so I'll then again ask another open-ended question until we can get all of the information out on the table. Third, I think it's important to be transparent with sharing your own interests. Transparency is really powerful. So when I was at kind of a stalemate in my negotiation, that's a strong word, but when I could tell we weren't in alignment. And I said, so tell me what's behind that for you. And I said, well, let me tell you what's behind this for me. Your business as it stands isn't actually worth this. So I would love to be able to pay you that. However, I can't pay you that without us actually building the business up to that point. And that led to a really great conversation about some earnouts and some potential clawbacks that would give her what she wanted, as long as we had the transition plan and the business plan in place to make that all happen. So we're not going to be out and overpaying for a business, but she is actually going to get the exit that she wants. Transparency is important. And I think if I hadn't told her what my other options were, and what my concerns were, she probably would have really dug in and kind of put in her heels with what that price needed to be. This really helps to build trust. It doesn't mean that you have to show like all of your cards all at once, but it does mean that you're really looking to create a fair deal. And I think if we all entered into every negotiation under the thought process of like, hey, if it's not going to leave both of our lives better, easier, then we shouldn't be having this conversation. If we were always coming to that end goal, we would naturally have a lot better conversations. Let's talk about shifting this conversation. So when you have that clear understanding of both parties' interests, you're ready to steer the negotiation away from those fixed positions and frame your proposal in a way that addresses the seller's interests, and it shows how your offer can meet their needs and your needs. This is how we move into those win-win solutions. And that's where the magic comes in. The magic of focusing on interest is that it opens up creative solutions. What we actually are landing on now is different than the first iteration, but we're finding a way to give her what she needs and to give me what I need, and we hadn't thought of it before. It was a new idea that entered into the arena because of the negotiation. So maybe the seller's concerned about their legacy, and you can offer to help them retain involvement as a board of advisors. Maybe you can agree to keep their name on the website as the founder. Or maybe the real true interest is that they need a quick sale because there's something that they're very excited to go do next. And if you're asking for a long transition period, they'd rather go down in price and have a shorter transition period. When you figure out what their actual interests are, you can align your strategies with their interests, and then everybody ends up winning. Negotiation should never be a zero-sum game. By moving from positions to interests, you really turn potential conflicts into opportunities to collaborate. And you don't have to come up with the answers in that moment. A lot of times in that moment, your goal is just to understand. And then you can go back and you can say, let me think about this and let me come back with a new offer that I think is going to represent your interests better. And then we'll start the discussion from there. Because sometimes I don't think of these things super clearly in the moment. It's more like the next day I'll start getting ideas. So don't put yourself on the spot and feel like you have to know exactly what you're going to do. You don't. But your goal in that conversation is really to listen, really to understand, and then to be able to put together some opportunities that really make sense. There might be other times where that collaboration, talking back through and saying, well, what if we did it like this? What if we did it like that? Will help you to understand where they're willing to move and where they're not. So whether you're doing it in the moment or whether you're doing it after, your goal is collaboration and moving towards the middle. So now that you know how to negotiate a win-win, what is your next step? Are you going to approach your next negotiation differently? I would love to hear your plans below. And for more great content like this, make sure that you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you never miss a video. Now that you've learned about negotiation, I want you to have the full picture of how to buy a business in your mind. So go check out my video on the A to Z of purchasing a business, where it will take you through step by step the entire process. Until then, keep growing, keep building, and let's get you to your 8-figure exit.